All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Upward movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.69. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Wednesday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. KrissPax is here to calm anybody who might be upset. It's bear market. I mean, Kriss has predicted it or called it, I'd say early November, late October, early November. Once Bitcoin hit the 50-week moving average, well, it's since sliced right down through the 100-week moving average, and now it's looking at the 200-week moving average. It's bear market, guys. But you know what? We still try and have some fun here because that's what it is. That's what we do here. We try and have a little fun here because it can't all be doom and gloom. And I know our portfolios are down and all of that stuff, but we keep things real here. It is what it is. So let me drop down here in the corner and let's get at it. We start with, for all of you who might already know, actually, there's a football game on Sunday. It's called the Super Bowl. Heard of it? Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl at halftime has this entertainment act of something. Bad Bunny. I'm not watching it. I don't care about it. It is awful. I'm not going to watch that crap. Not even for the entertainment value. So I'm going to do a live stream on Sunday at halftime, Super Bowl halftime. So if any of you are watching the Super Bowl, turn it off. Turn off the TV at halftime. I mean, totally turn it off. I want the Nielsen ratings to plummet at halftime because of that stupid choice for an entertainment act at halftime. And then, so we'll be like a 25-minute live stream on Sunday. And then we'll end the live stream and we'll go back to the football game for the second half. So that's what it's going to be. Yeah, Ryan, have 5 TVs on for the Super Bowl and turn them all off for the halftime. The power is in numbers. The power is in numbers here. Turn them all off at halftime. And I'll be talking about that again a little later and then again on Friday's live stream because, you know, we got to hype this up. Super Bowl halftime Dogecoin spectacular happening on Sunday. I don't know exactly what time because I don't know how long it's going to take to play the first half, but I'm guessing it's probably, I don't even know, what time does the game start? Like 6:30 East Coast time? Yeah, 6:30 East Coast time. So maybe 8 o'clock, sometime around there. So be ready for that on Sunday. Of course, you got to be subscribed and have your notifications on so it flashes up, right? Flashes up. You get an email notification when we start. So this is interesting. This guy, Lou, he says, I got a cease and desist from Binance. Interesting. Notice to cease and desist, defamatory statement regarding Binance. This letter serves a formal demand for you to immediately cease and desist from disseminating false and defamatory statements regarding Binance. He may have published on X that like Binance was insolvent. That I don't believe is true because Binance is loaded. However, he also said that Binance was responsible for October 10th. I wonder who else may have said that. Uh-oh. Am I in trouble? Have I been making defamatory statements regarding Binance? Yes, I have. And I continue to do it again and again and again. Because Binance is it's all part of this whole manipulated crypto market. Pushing things up, pushing things down, 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 down. Liquidation after liquidation. And there's some more shorts. Let's go get them. Bring it up. Of course, Binance was responsible for 1010. I proved it. I showed you all of the stuff back on October 11th and 12th when I was trying to figure out what the heck happened on October 10th. Binance was part of it. They may not have been all of it, but they were part of it. And I will continue to say so until Binance sends me one of these. And then I'll cease and desist. But until then, I'm not ceasing and desisting because I still think Binance is responsible for the manipulation of the crypto market for their own means and gains. CZ can act all nice. I mean, even in this morning's video, I showed you, he's on this kind of tour of keeps bringing up October 10th. And why does he keep bringing up October 10th? Because more than just me believes CZ and Binance were behind it. He's acting all nice and people are going, oh, CZ, we love you. And I'm like, yeah, no. That is a facade. That is a complete facade. Behind the scenes, he's still manipulating Binance and causing liquidations. Now, do I have proof? This guy says he has proof. I'm like, I'm just saying, it's my opinion. It's my opinion. But Binance is not insolvent. That is definitely not true because they're making a crap ton of money, whether the market goes up or down. They continue to win. So we have that. Now, the immediate demands, he needed to permanently delete the post referenced above, any other related defamatory content, post a public retraction on your X account acknowledging that all your claims regarding Binance's insolvency were unsubstantiated, and cease all future disparagement of Binance and its operations. So I have until I get a cease and desist letter to say whatever I want about Binance. So enjoy it while you got it. I don't know if CZ is going to come after me or Binance, but I still believe that this did actually happen. But no, Binance is not insolvent. But yes, responsible for October 10th. And I'll just leave it at that. So do you know that Bitcoin is now down over 41% from hitting that high of 126,200 in early October? And on the monthly chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red months in a row, which only happened one other time, and that was 2018 bear market. Yes, it's freedom of speech, Matt. It is, but if you get a cease and desist letter, you would have to basically hire an attorney, pay a lot of money, and fight the cease and desist letter in order to maintain your ability to have freedom of speech. And I'm not paying an attorney to do that. So if Binance gives me one of those, fine, whatever. I don't care. I'll just move on. But until then, I'm going to continue to say what I say. So buy a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down. We're in a bear market, guys. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen unless we're in a bear market. So we got that, right? And then Nanzi says crypto market is officially in a state of emergency. While the S&P 500 is still holding near its all-time high, Bitcoin is in a total free fall. The gap between stocks and crypto has never looked this crazy. Since October, BTC has crashed from 126 down to the 73,200 yearly low, wiping out over $1 trillion in value. Bitcoin's down, ETH is down. Meanwhile, 42, 56%, and NASDAQ and the Russell are only down about 4% during that same time. Wall Street is doing fine while crypto gets destroyed. Well, of course, Wall Street, we know, is being pumped up by Trump. He cares about the stock market. He doesn't care about crypto, as I've been saying. He doesn't care about crypto. But the stock market, he wants to hold that up. He wants to prop that up because that's where most of the money is. It's in the stock market. And most voters have stocks, not crypto. So Nunzi then says, this is not a normal dip. Either the big players are manipulating the market heavily or something deep inside the system is seriously broken. And I go for the former, not the latter. I don't think there's something deep inside the system that is broken. It is the big players manipulating the market heavily, which of course leads all back to you-know-who and Binance, because that's what it is. And those degen leverage traders keep coming in with new long leverage trades thinking, oh, it's hit the bottom now, I'm going to ride it back up. And then they turn around and they drop it lower. So Tiny Crypto says, look, be careful out there. Oversold RSI is not necessarily the bottom, which I talked about in this morning's video. Did you see this morning's video? It was another banger. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But look what we got here. The old head and shoulders. The old head and shoulders. Just like we had back in 2021, we have it now, 2025 into 2026. The head and shoulders, which leads to what? Lower prices. Lower prices. So for those looking at charts and TA and all that stuff, remember back in 2022, even though the RSI had bottomed, RSI started moving up while the price was still moving lower in Bitcoin. Still moving lower. And that took months to play out. That took months to play out. So I still think we have months of this. And in fact, I think it's going to extend into and maybe through the summer. So, yeah, it looks like we're getting closer to something going on in Iran, Danny. That is true. Megal, $1.14. I know, right? $1.14 Megal. It's on sale. Not financial advice. I thought my $1.18 Megal was a good price. But this afternoon, Megal decided to go down further. Ouch. We continue. Bitcoin could fall to 38,000. Yes, another 50%. Investment company Stifle, whoever they are, says Bitcoin could fall to 38K based on past cycles, citing tighter Fed policy, slowing US crypto regulation, shrinking liquidity, and heavy ETF outflows. Sentiment is in extreme fear, showing waning institutional and retail interest. Yep. That is true. That is true, which is why I've been saying I'm not buying anything right now. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying in the stocks. I'm not buying in crypto. I'm waiting. The stock market, I think, is going to have a big dip, as I've been saying. And so I wait patiently. Speaking of stocks, we have one particular stock called MicroStrategy. Strategy B, $MSTR. Down 9% in the last 8 hours, wiping out $3 billion in market value. Strategy is now down 77% from its all-time high. It's trading like a meme coin that is getting rugged. That's how MicroStrategy is trading. And I told everybody, don't buy MicroStrategy. Don't buy it. And that was financial advice because MicroStrategy continues to drop. And why is that? Well, If we look at the Bitcoin chart, you'll see a yellow line on my chart right there, just over $76,000. There's this yellow line. That is the average price of all of the Bitcoin that Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have purchased since, I think it was August 2019, the so-called Bitcoin standard, right? That Michael Saylor talks about. And when the price is above his average price, Michael Saylor is all like, haha, look at me, right? Because since MicroStrategy went on the Bitcoin standard, everything's great. We're doing great. Well, guess what? It's below, it's below, it's below. Nobody's buying MicroStrategy stock when the price of Bitcoin is below the average of all the Bitcoin they've been buying for the past, what is that, 6.5 years? I mean, they were buying Bitcoin when it was down below $20,000. They didn't buy enough of that Bitcoin. The problem is that they were buying last fall over 100K, a lot of Bitcoin. And that's when I was talking about what are they doing? Buying all this Bitcoin above 100K. Now Bitcoin's at 73,000 and they'll probably buy some more. He's just going to keep buying. He thinks long-term, it doesn't matter because Bitcoin's going to $1 million, $10 million, whatever. And he thinks he'll win in the end. His stock, though, is plummeting. The stock is plummeting. So we look at MSTR right now for the latest, and it's just not good. It's just not good, as Kriss predicted. The big M, right, for MicroStrategy, right? We had the big M, and it's just gone down since then. So MicroStrategy is now all the way back to where it was back in August of 2024 is where MicroStrategy is now. And I think it's going to keep going lower. If the price of Bitcoin continues to go down, which I think it will, as bear market continues, BlackRock really doesn't have an average. Again, Danny, BlackRock only buys and sells when their ETF investors buy and sell, the IBIT. BlackRock is not buying Bitcoin for themselves. BlackRock buys and sells as ETFs, has inflows and outflows. They're just doing whatever the investors do. That's what BlackRock does. It's not the same. That's based on sentiment. Pepe's not going to pass Doge. Dude. You know, I'm just getting tired of you. Goodbye. Anyway, the boot. He finally got the boot. You know, you just get tired of it. I mean, yeah, we've got the First Amendment and all, but there's also something called stupidity. And it's just clogging up the chat with that crap. They're just like, goodbye. He'll probably come back under a new name and whatever, but on this channel, we don't have a democracy. We do not have a democracy here. I am the Lord and supreme leader of this channel. And I decide. Oh, anyway, MicroStrategy is hurting. And I think it's probably going to go down to the next level here, which is under 100, maybe down to $50. And we're going to see MicroStrategy down there. Will I buy then? I don't know. Maybe a little. But I'm not buying up here above 100. I mean, we'll see where it ends up in the summertime. And especially if there's a big flash crash in the stock market, which could always happen, we could see that. But here's what's going on with NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still up. It had hit its new all-time high just on January 28th. That was like a week ago. But it is pulling back since then. And from that high, NASDAQ is down to, about 5% down. I think that's going to get worse. I think there's going to be some real trouble coming, and we're going to see stocks pull back. Gold came back up over $5,000. That was a nice buying period here, but now it's dipping again below 5,000. But China is buying a crap ton of gold. Yes, China, they're selling all their US treasuries and they're buying gold. They're still making comments about Taiwan and who knows what else. So I don't know when the Chinese are going to pull the trigger on that, but it's only a matter of time. They can wait it out. They have time. Silver also pulled back. Silver came down to 72, back up to 90, pulled back to 85. So silver is kind of doing the same thing. I don't know if it's going to get back up to 120 or not. I don't know if that's going to happen for silver. Meanwhile, percentage-wise, Dogecoin has actually been holding up pretty well. It had a lower low, or it was actually a higher low, 31st of January. Doge did dip to 9.5. And then we had on 1st of February, 9.9. And this current dip here is 10.16. So it is higher lows where Bitcoin is having lower lows. There's a difference there. Bitcoin having lower lows, Dogecoin is higher lows. So there's a little divergence going there between Doge and Bitcoin. And that happens, of course, when there's news about Dogecoin, like Mr. Elon Musk. Yes, he has revived the Dogecoin to the moon talk. Doge does keep pulling back, but as I just showed, it's higher lows, not lower lows for Doge. Because of Bitcoin's constant selling pressure, I believe it's keeping Doge from going up higher. It's keeping Doge from going up higher because of all the negativity in crypto, Bitcoin especially. So that's not cool. That's not cool. Meanwhile, we have ETH falling lower lows, 2150 here. It did dip below 2100 for a bit. When it dips below 2000, that's going to be a big thing for ETH. And I've also been talking a lot about Solana. Again, lower lows on Solana. And Solana actually came down to $90. $90 for Solana. That is huge. We zoom out on Solana and we just look at from 295, where it was here in January 2025. Solana is down 68%, 69% for Solana. So for all of those complaining Doge is down 70%, well, Solana is pretty much down the same percentage. Pretty much the same. So I don't want to hear the Doge is dead crap. We know that Dogecoin is in the top 10 of cryptos. Interesting that Bitcoin Cash has moved into the top 10. Bitcoin Cash. It passed Cardano in total market cap. Bitcoin Cash is in the top. No, it wasn't 67, Ryan. I just showed you. It was 68, 69, not 67. So for any of you holding Bitcoin Cash, congratulations. It's now a top 10 cryptocurrency yet again from a long time ago. If Mego drops to $1.12, will I buy more? I don't know. I don't know, Yili. I'm already in with 3,000. So I think I just hold the 3,000. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash. And Hyperliquid is back up to number 12. That's actually one that's in the green over the past 7 days, unlike everything else in the top 10. Bitcoin is down 18%. Dogecoin down 17% over 7 days. Again, Dogecoin doing better than Bitcoin. ETH down 28, BNB 21, XRP 20, Solana 26. Dogecoin is outperforming all of those above it over the past 7 days. Again, they're just numbers. I'm just pointing out everybody complaining about Doge. I'm like, oh, look at the rest of the crypto market here. Look at the rest of the crypto market. I just keep it real. They're just numbers. All right. So what's happening to Solana? What is happening to Solana? I've been calling Solana's pullback for quite some time, and now it's happening. Now it's happening. Solana. And Solana also has a larger inflation than Dogecoin. People complain about, oh, Dogecoin minting so many coins. And I'm like, have you looked at Solana? Have you really looked at Solana and its circulating supply year over year over year? You should do your research before complaining about Dogecoin's inflation. Look at Solana, look at SWI, look at Arbitrum, look at Optimism, look at XRP even. They all inflate a higher percentage than what Doge is now, and Dogecoin's percentages continue to get lower and lower and lower year after year, percentage of its overall supply, because it's a constant value. Day after day, week after week, month after month. I know, Eric, Solana, so many bought into the whole Solana thing, and I'm like, be careful out there. So Dogecoin falls 7% as risk-off trade hits. Ethereum tied tokens. So it's not only Ethereum, but it's all the Ethereum-based tokens that are even dropping lower. So Dogecoin is not only outperforming Ethereum, but it's outperforming all of Ethereum shit tokens too. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Pepe is actually not having a bad day today. I will admit that. It's one little tiny green candle here on the 7th day. It's a little tiny green candle. We zoom in and we see it's going sideways. It's just up and down. It's got higher lows, just like Doge. So that guy talking about full of crap. That's all. What else we got? Ooh, you want to hear some bad news? Bad news? Tracer says, look, a huge market collapse is coming. Of course, Tracer is one of those on crypto Twitter who's just all blazing headlines. But this is his latest. What you're seeing is not normal volatility. Things are just getting started now. What happened in silver last week wasn't random. It was forced deleveraging. If you're holding any assets now, you must understand gold and silver do not move like this in stable systems. They move like this when confidence fractures, when liquidity disappears, when positioning breaks. We can look at the 2007 to 2009 housing breaks. Gold actually went from 670 up to 1,000. We can look at the 2019 pandemic shock. Well, it was really 2020. It was kind of building. There was talk in late 2019, but it really wasn't until 2020 when that hit. Gold went from 1,200 to 2,030. Now here we are, 2025 into 2026. We have the current reset. What is this one going to be called? I don't know yet. I don't know. A week ago, I called it a financial crisis that's coming. Financial crisis, because I saw all these signs as well. And I made a video about it. If you look on my channel, I've got this video right here called The Financial Crisis Coming. If you guys are interested in some doom and gloom stuff, check that video out. Because I believe it's coming. I believe it's coming, unfortunately. So These moves don't happen in calm environments. When metals are smashed and then aggressively bid back, it's a signal that something is under stress. We see rapid deleveraging. We see margin chains snapping. We see collateral evaporating. So there's all this other stuff about the Fed and the US government, bond yields flashing stress, dollar weakens, gold explodes, credibility erodes. We see cracks in the housing. Yes, cracks in the housing market. We see credit. People are just living more and more on credit. There's no good options left. Safe assets start swinging violently. The system is telling you a shift is underway. Most people won't recognize it in real time, but we are right here. We are right here. The 2029 Great Depression, Mamba, really, 100 years later, the 2029 Great Depression. I haven't heard that one before. 100 years, Great Depression. Wow. You never know. So there's the bad news. However, we here, we like to still have a little fun. So here's the crypto market entering February of 2026. You guys will like this one because you know how that feels. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. When do you dive in? When do you make the move? Ah! Right? What am I going to buy? What am I going to buy? Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah! Oh, that's how it feels to be buying crypto right now. Yeah, oof, exactly right. Oof. That is the crypto market now, my friends. Now, if you're a long-term like holder and you're just buying on dips, you don't worry about that. But for those that are sitting on the sidelines with a lot of money and you go in heavy, that is the risk. That is the risk right there. So I will leave it at that. Dippity dip. Dippity dip. And yes, we have dips on Doge, but again, the dips on Doge are creating higher lows right now. We have higher lows where on Bitcoin over that same period of time, Bitcoin's is lower lows, a divergence over the past week that we're seeing between Doge and Bitcoin. And that is because of the heavy manipulation of Bitcoin, thanks to our good friends, thanks to our good friend, these guys, Binance. Cease and desist. Ah! They're going after people now. And I'm like, The best advice you told me, no leverage. Exactly. Crypto is risky enough without the leverage. And particularly when you start losing and you start revenge trading, going more and more in with leverage, you lose more. You just lose more. Just pretend it's not happening. Charlotte, yeah. La, 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 la. Right? I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I don't know what. Right? Thank you, William. Thank you. Show the inverse of that video. Can you do that on X? Can you show it in reverse? Do they have that feature? I don't think they do. Video settings, playback speed. Can you do it reverse? It doesn't give you a reverse. It doesn't give you a reverse. That would be funny if it did, though, right? That would be funny. Oh. We heard it here first, folks. Hey, I'm just like telling you what I see. I've been in the markets off and on for many years, and you see all this stuff happening, and you're like, it's not good. Did you ever use the volume profile? Nope, I have not used VPVR. I like Charlotte's advice. Yeah, just plead ignorance. Considering everything I hold before worse summer losses. Seriously considering. Yeah, Nick? If it's a smaller loss now, it could be a bigger loss, but we don't know. Chucky always has the best advice. How low can Bitcoin go? Well, we do have a number of predictions. Here's one. Bitcoin could fall to 38,000. Now, my bear market bottom was targeting about 67, 67. That was a real 67, right? 67. But I mean, here it is at 73, and 67 is not that far away. So we could see 67 coming and maybe pull even lower than that. There are many predicting these lower prices based on previous cycles and percentage drawdowns from highs. My theory on this was we won't see as big of a percentage pullback every cycle because of the market cap being so much higher. Bitcoin's market cap right now is $1.5 trillion. It takes a lot more trading to move this. And I don't think it's going to go down 70, 75%. It's already down 42%. But if these guys get their way and we continue to see heavy leverage trading continue, particularly on this particular platform here, they're going to do what they can to continue to drop the price because they don't want those leverage traders to win because it takes money from their pockets. So you think 9.5 again. 9.5 is a very strong support, but my bear market bottom did go down to like 6.7 Doge, 6.7 cents for Doge. So are we booming? No, we are not. We are barren. We're barren. Why do altcoins not crash that much when Bitcoin goes down? Sometimes they do. It depends on the situation. On October 10th, altcoins got decimated. Bitcoin not so much because Bitcoin had more liquidity and it held it up. There wasn't like a trigger break like we had on a lot of alts. Dogecoin held up fairly well, but then we had things like Atom that we looked like that ended up going like down 80% that day because there wasn't enough liquidity. And once all of that got blown through, it just was in free fall. So that's really more of that. It depends on the situation at the time of what's going on. Anthony, good morning. How are you? Yeah, I'm not climbing on any roofs. I'm not climbing on any roofs. Yeah, my college roommate fell off a roof. I forget what he was doing. He had cleaned the gutters and he went on the roof for something and he fell off. If I remember, it was a ladder problem. I think he was trying to step back on the ladder and hit it wrong. Down he went. Broken arm, and I forget what else. Yeah. Right. 9.5 was the bottom of the flash crash. But now we have so many other cryptos that have already gone lower than the flash crash, including Bitcoin and ETH and a bunch of others. Doge is still holding up. It's one of the few that's actually still above that October 10th bottom of flash crash. We can look, for instance, at, let's say, I don't know, Solana. Right? Just to pick one. Let's look at Solana. I have to go on the daily. So Solana's bottom on the flash crash here was 169. 169. And now it's at 92. We've got ETH. Bottom of the flash crash here was 3,400. Now it's at 2,100. But Dogecoin, flash crash 9.5. It's now touched it once on a dip. So that is a pretty good solid support there for Doge. Again, that goes back a lot, again, to the liquidity. Doge had fairly good liquidity, still dropped a lot. ETH didn't drop as much. Gravity is not your friend. There's that word. Do you think the concept of patterns rhyming cycle to cycle is hopium in an end of itself? Well, when you zoom out and you start to look at all of that, it does tend to happen. All those long rainbow charts on Bitcoin, still in play. Still in play. Is it hopium? I think a lot of it is, knowing that like 2028, everything's going to be back up. We don't know that for sure. There's nothing logically that says that other than it's happened before. Yeah, stepping back onto the ladder, the scariest part. Yeah, that's what happened to Dean. That's what happened to him. Down he went. Gravity. Stay the hell away from me. Yeah, that is John Mayer. Yes. So what's good about the morning when all I see is red? Crypto appears to be saying that it's a worthless asset. Well, it just means that it's heavily manipulated there, Sir Anthony. That's all. Heavily manipulated. And now is just not a good season to be in. Remember everybody talking about alt season? Remember Raul Paul talking about super cycle? Like, where's Raul Paul now? Oh, the business cycle is going to continue and go higher into 2026, so crypto will follow. Has it? Nope. M2 money supply going up. Crypto? Nope. I've been mocking that all along for months. Markets are rotating in Pokemon. At my last job, the guy fell out of a tree, got paralyzed. And then his wife left him. Oh, Mamba. That's tragic. Wow. Hey, Marmello, how are you? Yeah, where's all the people that wanted it at 10 cents? Well, now they're not buying till it goes to 5 cents. They keep moving the goalposts, right? That's what they keep doing. Just move the goalposts. You got 10 cents. But yes, we still have falling knives. I'm not buying MicroStrategy. I'm not buying Solana. I'm not buying anything right now. Not buying anything right now. Well, that's good, Nick. Everything is manipulated. Crypto just lets us see it. The blockchain is real. Facts. Thank you, William. Every time we go through price drops, we complain instead of celebrate. I do neither. I'm in between. I'm in between. But I see it from a lot of people. Some who are more optimistic, believe you're DCAing, buying the dips, you're getting Dogecoin at a lower price for eventually when it goes back up. Others are just doom and gloom. And they just want to complain because their portfolio is in the red. Could X payments and Doge mission be connected? No, not at all. Not at all. The Doge mission has nothing to do with SpaceX and Elon Musk. As I've said many times over the years, it's geometric and exobotics that weren't able to get their crap together to get a functioning CubeSat that they wanted and do all of their advertising thing and all that stuff. They couldn't get all of that tested and figured out in time. And I think they've just gone and started a whole new CubeSat design, is my guess. Maybe it's making progress. Sam Reed hasn't really been open about that. So we wait. But all this news just came out about maybe 2027. So they must have been in contact with Elon again about using one of the SpaceX rockets to get them up into space. Again, it has nothing to do with Elon. The Doge 1 mission has nothing to do with Elon. Elon just has the rockets that go up that can take the satellites up into space. And that was the deal. Geometric paid in Dogecoin to SpaceX for the cost for a ride up into space. Now, the rumor is that they offered to pay in Bitcoin and Elon said, no, it has to be Dogecoin. They were going to pay in Bitcoin. And Elon said, no, it's got to be Dogecoin. Okay. And thus the Doge 1 mission was born. But then, as I showed over the weekend or the other day in my video, they've got this website where they have this merch for the Doge 1 mission, but you can't pay for it in Dogecoin. And I'm like, that's bad. That's bad. You got to at least be able to accept Dogecoin to sell your merch to people that has Doge 1 mission written all over it, not American Express. Nobody's going to use their American Express card to buy a Doge 1 mission t-shirt. What does the heat map got to say? Let's check it out. The heat map. Right now, we've got a bunch of green is bad. That means prices are going down. Long leverage is getting taken out. That's what that means. Prices are now going down. Look at this. Liquidation's happening in real time. I'm getting Zcash too. I wonder if Bitcoin Cash is getting hit because that's holding pretty well. Solana, a lot of Bitcoins. All these Bitcoin leverage traders trying to time the bottom, and Bitcoin is just going lower. There it is, real time. Bitcoin's going lower, guys. We're about to see 71 in Bitcoin. You're going to buy in the 9s, Mars? I'm just waiting for the summer. Partially because I don't have the extra cash right now. I won't until April 15th. But even if I did have the cash, I'd be like, no. I'm waiting. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I don't think so. Let's see what we got. The Bitcoin liquidation heat map. There has to be some, I don't know. When's the last time Bitcoin was at 70K? This only goes a year out. It wasn't even 70K. The tariff crash down in April 2025. Bitcoin only got to about 74. So we're lower than that. So any leverage that still open trades at this level have been open for more than a year, which happens. So this will go back to October 2024. October 2024. So that's about a year and a half. If someone still has leverage trades open, why they didn't take their profits back here at $120,000, I don't know. Right, Bitcoin's dead. You're right, Ryan. Bitcoin's dead. Lower lows. And still doing it. Lower lows. So what does that look like for Doge on the heat map while we're here? Yeah, so you can see the Dogecoin ones within a year because it was last at this price in February. I'm sorry, that's a 3-day. Oh, it doesn't go out a year. Doge only goes 3 months on the heat map. So yeah, we're not going to see it on Doge either, going out. All of the open long leverage. You see a lot of the shorts that are still open for 3 months. Those shorts are still making a lot of money. $13 million at 15 cents right here. There's a lot of shorts, but we don't see the longs because they've been open longer than this heat map shows. So many people are going to wish they bought at this price in the future. Yeah, Jade. Way out in the future, 10-cent Doge is going to be, yeah, you bought it 10 cents? Well, we can do that right now. That's why I kind of miss the stock market where there's accountability for market manipulation. There's someone to go to unlike crypto. Yeah, we know where it comes from, though. You might want to DCA into other coins and tokens, but they're all way down, and they could go lower. They could go lower. I'm still buying. I'm like the Michael Saylor of Dogecoin. Yeah, but you don't have hundreds of billions of dollars riding on it. I agree, William. I'm with you. Not time to buy. Your SCHD doing well, getting dividend. Nice. You don't think there's going to be X payments at all? Yeah, it's already working internally. They have money transmitter licenses in states. Hey, Kronos, how are you? Ryan, that's blasphemy. Blasphemy. I'll use my Amex card. I'm guessing you don't even have an Amex card. That's what I'm guessing. You don't even have an Amex card. X needs another feature, a chat room. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to have a chat room. Yeah, I don't like it like during yeah, when you go into X and you see these the spaces. Oh, I wanted to get to that. I'll use this one. Oh, after I tell everyone again to be ready for the Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday. Super Bowl halftime. You want to turn off your TVs and come here because I'm going to be live. Special Super Bowl halftime Dogecoin and crypto and markets, of course, live stream for 25 minutes during the Super Bowl halftime because I'm not watching that Bad Bunny crap. I'm going to be here chatting with you all at halftime. So be ready on Sunday. It's just going to be a waste of my time. Bad Bunny. No, thank you. Yeah, so in these spaces here, when you go into these spaces, they should have a chat feature, and they don't. You have to actually just post on their spaces post. Dumb. How is QE going to affect crypto? Hey, everybody's talking, right? Right. Quantitative tightening ended. Right. End of the year is done. And everyone's saying, oh, in January, quantitative easing starts and all the crypto is going to go up. Did it? No, it didn't. It didn't. People are rotating into dividend stocks. Yeah. I know you're a cycle believer. I am too. I told everyone I'll believe in the 4-year cycles, particularly led by Bitcoin, until they don't happen again. But it's happening as I predicted. And even Dogecoin on this chart, I predicted a drop in the beginning of February, right here. That's the beginning of February. I predicted that drop, and it dropped. We hit 9.5 cents on the dip. So my fractal is still playing out. It's a bearish fractal through the summer. And I know you guys don't want to believe this, but this is the chart. And I'll keep referring to that until it's no longer applicable. I'm going to start paying a bit more on student loans. Good time. Get out of that debt. Get out of that debt. I'm not too knowledgeable, but all signs are pointing to the financial crisis you're predicting as far as I can see. How bad? Who knows? And I agree with that. How bad? Who knows? Who gets bailed out? Who gets, who's going to get the financial support? It's going to be the banks. We already had one fail in 2026. Bank in Chicago failed. So we got one. It's a start. Bitcoin 40K could happen. And that's what happens, I think, with a lot of those leverage traders. They do get greedy. And they just keep thinking it's going to go higher. And if you listen to like Tom Lee and Raul Paul and all those guys, I'm just like, shake my head. SMH. No. Is 5 cents a good buy? Can we agree on that long term? Yes, we can. Is it going to get to 5 cents? I don't know. My wife says to just leave it as they won't do anything. But I said, I don't know. Oh, that's good. Go get those shorts. What do I think of NBA trade? Anthony Davis going to the Wizards. I didn't hear that one. I saw the James Harden to Cleveland. The Celtics traded Anthony Simons to the Bulls for Vucevic. Need a big guy, another big guy in the middle. That's probably a good trade. Jason, of course, over 1 million Doge. Did it over many years. Consistently buying Doge. The buyers will step in at 60K. Maybe. The trick to stocks is to be a congressman. Yep. Yep. Ryan should work with Kriss on a special live stream to give people advice. As I look back early last year, I was being heckled about being bearish on Doge. But now it's because Bitcoin's down. Yeah, Ryan doesn't work for the IRS, guys. It's a lie. I didn't find out how much people lost on the silver trading from last Friday, but that was a big pullback. That's what a Fed would say to lower my card. Always mess. I would have to be paid to watch the Super Bowl. And I would need a huge raise to watch the halftime. Yeah, so just come here. It's free. It's free. Eric will be here. Awesome. Yeah, the KrissPax Super Bowl halftime show. The whole economy does not need X money. True. However, personally, I don't like the banks. I don't like the banks. And if X money is going to be able to do everything a bank can do, I'll use X money. I'm going to see what the fees are on things. I want to see how that all plays out. They're not just going to do it for free. USA Treasury wouldn't bail out Bitcoin. Right. Why would they? Why would they? They're just saying they're holding all the Bitcoin that they stole. I mean, having their already accumulated treasury. They're just saying they're not going to sell any of that. That's their so-called strategic Bitcoin reserve. But they're not going to buy any. The 4-year altcoin season is broken since we didn't have a true alt. We did have an alt season, low roller. It was just late 2024 is when it happened. It all front ran Bitcoin. Was it a true altcoin season? Well, who buys alts? Retail. Did retail have any money? Nope. There were no free stimmy checks, right? There was not free money coming in. So no true altcoin season. Remember, I was predicting it was going to be a half an altcoin season. And we didn't even get that. But I am on record for saying we're not going to see Bitcoin dominance going down to 40%. Remember that? That was me. You're rotating now, getting dizzy because of the constant sight of red. It is red. That is true. Well, that just tells you how stupid people are in America, that the Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist on Spotify. I don't even use Spotify. I have all my songs right here. They're all right here on my phone. 4,000 songs right here. My whole music library is right here. And so I get in the car. I just do Apple CarPlay and it plays random songs of what I like. None of that Spotify crap. Plus, you got to pay for Spotify. You don't have to pay for this every month. It's just right here on my phone. Doge hits 5 cents, I wouldn't hesitate. If we all set a limit order at 5 cents, will that pull it down? Huh, that's a good question. Charlotte's going to sleep through the Super Bowl. Then you're going to miss the New England Patriots' miraculous last-second win over the Seahawks. The government is not still shut down. The government opened back up. It was a 2-day shutdown. You can watch the Puppy Bowl. They do have fun with that, the Puppy Bowl. But I'd rather be here talking with you guys. Actually, don't they do the Puppy Bowl before the Super Bowl, if I remember? They do it in the afternoon sometime. Puppy Bowl is woke. Oh, now Anthony is starting to sound like Warren Buffett. Bitcoin is worth nothing. You can't even see Bitcoin. You can't hold it. You can't wear it. So just like Warren Buffett. Yeah, we did. We had an alt season. Again, my theory was 2021 got totally overhyped because of all the Elon stuff for Doge. Again, I think that Dogecoin's realistic high of 2021 was 35 cents because that's where it went in, I think it was August, September when Bitcoin was going back up. The highest it hit was 35 cents. And so I call that the cycle top. And then December 2024, we had 48 cents. But that's my theory. Doge will be on X at some point. Most of the SpaceX guys are into Doge. SpaceX is merging with XAI, which includes X. I still have 2026 as the big Doge boom. That was your prediction. Yeah, and I said that 2026 is a bear market year. Not going to be a big boom. Will they get a pump? I still think there'll be a pump. Yeah, Turbo, you don't have to. You don't even want to. My son played me one of his songs. This is the most listened to song. And I got like 5-10 seconds into it, and I was like, turn that off. What is a Bad Bunny? Seahawks are going to own the Patriots. We'll see. We'll see. I'm glad I'm trimming my nose here. I have backups. I'm good, low roller. I got backups on my music. Apple can do whatever they want. I still have all the MP3 files. Charlotte, thank you. You're on the Patriot side. I heard a Bad Bunny here first on my channel. Oh my God. I'm spreading the news about the Bad Bunny. Probably getting him more listens. And I'm just like, no. No, they're not a bank. They're a finance app, but not a bank. Because they're not going to do all of the stuff the banks do. It's a payment system. That's all it is. It's a payment system. We had a Bad Bunny in our garden. Ate all our lettuce. You mean the government actually made decisions they were supposed to make to avoid the shutdown? They kicked the can down the road again. Gee, I think till September. And they're going to do it all over again. You guys have a bet? 100 Doge? I support Charlotte. Sorry, Ryan. Now you have to stay up and watch the Super Bowl. Can someone explain the rules? Ask your good buddy Grok the rules of football. You listen on YouTube. I have been checking out. I do some searches on YouTube for artists and music, because you can hear the whole song, as opposed to going on like iTunes where you only hear like the first 30 seconds and it cuts it off. But you can hear the full song. So yeah, I find out some good music on YouTube. Then they start suggesting other stuff for you, in your recommended videos. And every once in a while I click on some, well, that looks interesting. And it's just crap. I'm very particular about my music. Very particular. Oh, you guys are up to 200 Doge now. I've been buying $90 Solana since 6% staking on Gemini. Yeah, I think it's going to go lower. CK. You use the Brave browser. Yeah, Bitcoin last week. We were watching this. 19%. Look at ETH down the last week. 30% down on ETH. It did just break below 2,100. ETH just broke below 2,100. Look at USDC. It's under $1. 0.9992. Solana 89. Solana 89. And 99% of my music is older music. But there's every once in a while, there's a new thing that happens that actually sounds kind of good. Kind of good. So, and it's not K-pop. Sorry, Ryan. It's not K-pop. Bad Bunny, it's not good, Hero. No, not good. We hit 5 cents in the bear market in 2022. I can't see us hitting 5 cents again, even though it's a bear market. We have made way more exposure than we did. Yeah. I agree. All Eyes on Doge, my #1 song. Yeah, I can't get it on Spotify without paying for some licensing company, a production company, or whatever they're called, because you can't just upload songs directly onto Spotify. Not allowed to. You have to go through one of these agencies or whatever they are. What a joke. What a joke. But I looked into it. I did look into it. Lonzo Ball getting traded to the Jazz, and then the Jazz will waiver him. Bad luck. Yeah, the whole Ball family. You're in Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, there we are. We were talking about that earlier. Bitcoin Cash is now a top 10 crypto again. After all these years, there's Bitcoin Cash. That's because Cardano went down 21% in the past week. Bitcoin Cash is only down 11%. So Cardano fell harder. So Bitcoin Cash is now a top 10 crypto right there. Bitcoin Cash, number 10. 10 billion market cap. Doge is still above 17, so there's still a big gap there. So I'm not worried about Doge dropping down. Yeah, and that explains Bad Bunny right there. He wears dresses and he kisses guys. That's all you need to know. If the Clarity Act, or whatever anyone wants to actually call it, it doesn't give anyone clarity, in my opinion. It's just another thing the US government and regulations are going to do that don't really move the needle on crypto. The yen crash. The Japanese financial system is in a mess right now. There's all the carry trade thing that's gone. Their bond market not doing well. Eric, 6.7 cents. 6.7. It has been written in the stars. 6.7. That was the 1.6 on the retracement on the Fibonacci. We did that back in December. 6.7 cents for Doge, written in the stars and the Fibonacci lines. Proved it out. If that really happens, that Dogecoin, the lowest it gets, this bear market is 6.7, I'm going to have to start believing in fibs. And I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't want some golden mean to dictate the prices. But yeah. Can you submit to Apple Music? I don't know how you would do that. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know how famous you were. I was reading an article on Robinhood and your name popped up. That's KrissPax. Yep. They quote me every now and then. I'm not big time though. Bitcoin Cash will eventually collapse like other cryptos. Yes. If Bitcoin comes crashing down, it's all coming down. We could bet 670 Dogecoin. Wow. Charlotte is upping the ante on this Super Bowl bet. 670 Doge. $6.7 for a day. Javier, how are you? Welcome. You're going to put every one of your TVs on for the halftimes. No. It's supposed to be the opposite. We want all the ratings to plummet during halftime. So next year, they find a good musical artist. No, you can't add AI songs. You have to go through some licensing agency, and they submit it for you. You can't submit it yourself. Mesfingabramarium. What is the best price to get in Doge? Nobody knows. That's up to you to decide. All I do is point out the trends, what has happened in history, and you decide when you want to buy. I've been accused of telling people to buy at like 45, 48 cents. And I was like, I never said such a thing. Tron is stable since it never crashed. Really? Really? Tron never crashed. Yeah, I kind of agree there. 25% was about it. There was this wicked big wick up here. I don't remember what that was. Early December 2024, and that came down. But you're kind of right. I think the biggest one was back here, May of 2021. That's when the whole crypto market had a big crash. And Tron went down 67%. So that's pretty bad. 67%, 6-7, just one of those things. But yeah, 67% down for Tron. I would say that's kind of a crash. That's kind of a crash. May 2021. But it's been pretty steady. Since then, it has been pretty steady. I just don't like Justin Sun, so I never bought it. Dogecoin will fall. It will. I've predicted it as well, Javier. I've predicted it as well. Look at that, Charlotte. Tron is still in its purple box. The same purple box. Tron is still in it. Guess we should have all bought Tron. But Tron doesn't have these big wild runs here. It only had that one back in that's when Doge did this. Right now, nothing is going to make me buy Doge in the next 2 months. I'm waiting for the summer. It's all a sort of a yearly occurrence of June and August. Always has big dips. It just always does. Charlotte is checking out my body list. The best price for Doge is buying Doge starting now till 5 cents. I'm waiting. Tron will crash soon. I don't think so, Javier. I don't think Tron's going to crash. It will pull back, but it won't crash. Kind of agree with that. I know, Charlotte. Rectangles. Yes, Kronos, I did miss the question there. If you were in my shoes, would you not report a tax from a sale that was less than $38? Just report it. I mean, what's the big deal? It's 38 bucks. What was your profit? You report it. You still report it. That's what I say. Pats all the way. When capitulation hits, we will be deep in the shadow realm. I did not watch the new Tron movie. Haven't seen it. Eric's not waiting until 5 cents. I'm just watching the calendar and then see where it is in June. And I'll start looking at it then. We want our money. I would like to keep some of my money, actually. I'd like to keep it. But you guys know what I did. I stuffed my profits into real estate. Don't be a stitch. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder for an auditor tax auditor, some guy like Ryan, IRS tax auditor. It's going to come knocking on my door. Mr. Pax, we would like to see your crypto. We would like to see all your receipts, everything you bought, everything you sold. And I'll say, sure, come on in. Want some coffee? I'll show you my spreadsheets. I got spreadsheets of all my buys and all my sells. Come on in, Mr. Tax Auditor. I'll show you what I got. I don't mind. I kind of built in that I knew I was going to be paying the tax. So March 10th is a trap. You pretend to like the Spurs. You faked with AI an actual ticket, right? You faked it with AI that that's an actual ticket for the game. And now you're saying, oh, let's go to dinner before the game. Yep. You're trying to snag me. I can see that. He's not even real. If you do everything on Robinhood and you don't transfer anything off or anything on, Robinhood has you covered tax-wise. That is true. That is true. To report it, you need to re-download the dumb app to get the form. You don't have to get the form. You just write it into your whatever it is, whatever form it is from the IRS. You just write it in. The DA form, the 1099 DA doesn't get submitted. That's just for your records. You don't have to submit that. That's just what the exchanges do to report to you what it has on its records of what you sold and when you sold it. But you don't have to have it if you wrote down on a spreadsheet what you bought, when, and what you sold. All the IRS cares about is your Schedule D backed up with your, what was it, an 8949, whatever number form that is, and you just put it on there. Oh, it was public. I asked them to close the account and they didn't. So they sold on my part to cover fees. Yeah, I would say if you know what you bought, when you bought it, and when you sold it, then you don't need to download public again. Annie was Ryan's digital offspring. Yeah, no problem with Robinhood. You just kind of know how it works. I think for stocks, Robinhood is awesome. For crypto, tough trade, especially if you're going to try and swing trade. You're not going to get the price, especially when there's high volatility, high volume. The prices are always way off where it's trading on Coinbase or Binance. Robinhood's not good for that. But if you buy on dips when there's low liquidity, just call them during the summertime when price is low, you'll get a better price. Yeah, Virginia is going to get taxed. Yes. Virginia is going woke. Virginia is going social, just like New York City. Sure, Kronos. Good luck. $38. What about the MyDoge wallet? The MyDoge wallet is great for holding your Doge. but you have to buy it somewhere else. I think the new MyDoge is going to allow you to buy, but right now it's not an exchange. But I think the new one will allow you to do that. MyDoge is for holding, tipping, transferring Dogecoin. And it's great for that. It's awesome. Well, it looks like we bounced off our support here with Dogecoin during the stream here. So we continue. That's not bad. Bitcoin has moved up, but it did hit 72K and now back up over 73. So we'll be watching this tonight. I will be live again on Friday. My next live stream will be Friday. And then after that, Super Bowl Sunday, halftime, Dogecoin, KrissPax live stream, spectacular. So be ready when the Super Bowl goes to halftime. Turn off the TV, turn on YouTube for 25 minutes. We'll have some fun. Hopefully the Patriots are ahead. I'll be in a much better mood. But Ryan, if like the Seahawks are up by like 3 touchdowns at halftime, I'm not going to be happy. Just saying that. I'm not going to be happy. Yeah, if MyDoge becomes something where you can buy, then it's no longer just a wallet. But yeah, go Hawks. I get it. We can talk about that on Friday when we're closer to the actual Super Bowl. All right, my friends. That's what we have for today. Again, still a lot of fear in the market. We're still bearish. And the economy, finances around the world just aren't in great shape. It's going to be really hard to get a big pump in crypto. So we just know that, and we move on from there. So I hope everyone has a great evening, and we will see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.